Elias Rapieque could easily be a player that changes the ceiling for Kansas State this season. An international product coming over for Germany, and I think he's going to be an absolute stud. Wearing number 0 this year, something that doesn't seem to be common based on what I've seen from pictures in the past. He's either wearing 15 or 25, but it's going to go with the 0 on his chest on the uniform. Exciting stuff for somebody who's going to make history for Kansas State for the program of men's basketball. He's going to be the first German-born player in Kansas State history, and he comes from Alba Berlin, one of the Europe's top pro teams in the EuroLeague. Jerome Tang has described him as a jack of all trades. He makes everyone on the floor better, and just an exciting stuff from him. Where he fits in will be an exciting piece as well. Overall, while he was in German Pro B League for SSV Lok Brna Alba and EuroLeague with Alba Berlin, in the Pro B, he had 18.1 points per game with 7.4 rebounds per game and 5.5 assists per game and 47.7% shooting from the field. Bringing in all these stat stuffers to the team with high efficiency from shooting, this offense has the ability, if it translates well, folks, the offense has the ability to be one of the best in the Big 12 if it all works out. In the EuroLeague, he shot a little bit lower this past year in the EuroLeague, but it was against a tougher opponents. I mean, some that probably tougher than actual Big 12 opponents, if you will. But he shot 4.2 points per game, 2 rebounds, and just under 2 assists per game. Represented Germany in the under 18 and under 20 national teams. And while he was doing that, he averaged 11 points per game and 3 rebounds per game at the 2024 FIBA U20 Euro Basket. Some of the career highlights that I've seen is he has a triple-double, which was a 16, 12, 11, and a 27-point game against the ETB Miners. He's a really good player. He's versatile. He's got a really high shooting efficiency. He's going to be a really fun piece for Kansas State to utilize this season. Tang said what stood out to him first was passing and his vision. The way that, quote, the ball just comes out of his hands easy is something that Jerome Tang liked. He's been compared to Royce O'Neal, a guy from Baylor, the Phoenix Suns. One of his for versatility, for toughness, for his ability to play in multiple roles. Got to really like that as well. And Tang emphasized that he could be an elite role player or a go-to guy. He's done both. So it makes you wonder where maybe he starts. Maybe he comes off the bench. Maybe he's a high energy guy off the bench for you, because the way that this roster is starting to shape up, it's hard to determine if he can find himself on the starting roster, even with having some pro experience. It's a good problem to have, looking at, based on comparing your bench from last year for Kansas State. He's already taken college classes overseas, so he'll arrive as a transfer junior with maturity and leadership experience. So we'll have a couple years of eligibility for him if he decides to stick around with Kansas State this next season. But ultimately, most of these international products come over to the college realms to try and get themselves more prepped for an NBA draft stock. So I'm guessing that's going to be his ultimate goal, whether that is a one and done type of scenario or he sticks around to play his second year and builds his draft stock. That'll be something that ultimately happens based on his success this coming season. He's got a good fit for Kansas State. So I think he was a good choice for him coming over to Jerome Tang. 6'9", 225, flexible forward who can handle the ball, defend multiple positions, and rebound in traffic. And to be honest, I think when you're looking at who's going to play the 4 and 5 this year, that is probably the biggest concerns for Kansas State. So having that kind of positional versatility is going to help him get some more minutes just based on how the rest of the roster looks for Kansas State this year. Kansas State can use him as a secondary playmaker or a matchup forward. And I think that, again, is going to help them in so many plug-and-play situations this coming season. His three-point shooting is developing, kind of like Nate Johnson's, how it's probably the biggest thing that has to be improved. He was only 26.7 across all the leagues, 26.7% from three-point range if you're putting all of them together. His court vision and all-around games, though, are elite. So if you take that out, his three-point shooting, I think everything else is at the elite level for sure. So I think he is expected to provide immediate veteran presence, because although it's going to be his first time in a college setting, having that professional setting is just as good, if not better, coming to this type of team with that international experience in a young rotation that Kansas State's bringing in this season. So overall, mature, high IQ piece, stability, pro level habits. You got to like what you're bringing here, and could be a potential 4 or 5 piece, being at 6'9". If they decide to go in a smaller rotation, I think you could even push him to the 5. Don't see that happening, though. I think you get him more as a 4 with a wing type of player, or a movable wing or movable forward, depending on matchups heading into the season. I think he's the type of international veteran who raises your team floor, and which I think is absolutely important after the fact that you've missed 2 tournaments the last 2 seasons. So raising your floor is absolutely something you need. And of course, it raises your locker room standards, something that absolutely was a problem that this last season. So overall, really like what we see from these Kansas State players, whether it's international products that are just coming to Kansas State this year, or some that are returning. And of course, some of the main transfer players that came over, like defensive mastermind in Nate Johnson. That's going to wrap it up for today's basketball breakdown here at Locked On Kansas State. We got more coming for you. We're going to start back up on Monday. We also have a couple crossovers to get into because the Sunflower Showdown will be getting underway. We got Kansas State week. It's a huge week for the show. Will the streak stay alive? Of course, we're going to have you covered here. Most likely going to have 2 episodes dropping every day of the week, Monday through Friday next week. So we're going to give you a little bit of break this weekend. So we'll be back here on Monday with another episode of Locked On Kansas State. Really appreciate you making Locked On Kansas State your first listen today. For your second listen, go check out Locked On Big 12. Drake Toll breaks down the most exciting conference in college sports, from the rivalries to the championship and every game in between. Find Locked On Big 12 on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you back here next time, right here on Locked On Kansas State.